Hi, I am Sam Yogi. Today is September 4th, 2025. Welcome back to the Krishnamurti podcast. This is episode 40. In today's episode, we dive into a profound question posed to Jiddu Krishnamurti about power. The question explores whether power can be destructive, presumptive, or generous, and asks if sharing knowledge might be a positive use of power. Krishnamurti's response goes straight to the heart of human motivation. He reveals how our search for security, whether economic, emotional, or mental, inevitably becomes a search for power. This search, he explains, is rooted in an inner loneliness, a sense of insufficiency. And the more we try to cover that loneliness with security, the more fear we create. Only by seeing the cause clearly can the craving for power truly end. Let's listen in to the question asked and the answer given by Krishnamurti as he unpacks the link between power, security, and fear. The question is, you abhor power. What does that word signify to you? I differentiate between power used in three ways: to injure or exploit or hamper the growth of another for one's own aggrandizement. Number one, presumptuously to interfere in an endeavor to help. Number two, opportunity to share one's knowledge or power with others. Number three, does your use of the term power include or exclude number three? Krishnamurti, your question is like an examination paper. I have answered this question in my first talk. When there is search for security, economically, emotionally, or mentally, then there is search for power because you derive comfort from the security and domination not only over yourself but also over others. We are unconsciously seeking comfort, and comfort implies limitations, consistency to the principles of yesterday, which have become the principles of today. And we are living according to the edicts of the desire for security. Hence, we do not comprehend the incidents, pictures, and images of life. So, if one understands the cause of this search for security, then the desire for power ceases. As I said, the cause of the search for security is this lack of sufficiency, this aching loneliness, and you hope to cover up this loneliness by having greater and greater security, and thereby you create more and more fear. So, based on this question and answer, We can break it down to a few key points as follows. Point number one: power and security are linked. The search for security, whether economic, emotional, or mental, gives rise to the search for power. Point number two: comfort as limitation. Comfort is tied to security, but it leads to living by past principles and constrains freedom. Number three: loneliness at the root. The deeper cause of seeking security and power is an inner sense of insufficiency and aching loneliness. Number four: cycle of fear. Attempts to escape loneliness through security create dependency and, in turn, generate more fear. Number five: true understanding dissolves power seeking. By understanding the root cause, the search for security, the desire for power naturally ends. So we can summarize the answer given by Krishnamurti as follows. In response to a question about different forms of power, Krishnamurti explains that the pursuit of power arises from the search for security, whether through wealth, emotional attachments, or mental constructs. Security promises comfort but ultimately breeds limitation and conformity. Whether through wealth, emotional attachments, or mental constructs, security promises comfort but ultimately breeds limitation and conformity. At its root lies a deep sense of loneliness and insufficiency, which people attempt to mask with control and security. Yet, this effort only deepens fear. By seeing the cause clearly, the search for security, and with it, the desire for power comes to an end. So, what have we learned from Krishnamurti today? You have been listening to Krishnamurti on the nature of power, security, and fear. His words remind us that the drive for control or authority often springs from something much deeper: a longing for comfort, a desire to escape loneliness. Yet, in that very pursuit, fear takes root. Perhaps the invitation here is not to seek more security, but to observe our own lives directly, to notice the subtle ways we reach for comfort and how that shapes our relationships and choices. In that awareness, something shifts, and the need for power may naturally dissolve. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Krishnamurti podcast with Sam Yogi. If you found this talk insightful, consider sharing it with a friend or reflecting on it in your own quiet moments. Until next time, may your listening open space for clarity and freedom. Thank you. You have a nice day.